Hey guys, so I've got my template cut out that I'm going to put onto the cup. So first I'm going to weed the excess. Now this is not very sticky. You can see it's lifting up. I actually took, before I cut it, I took the vinyl and I put it on a towel once or twice. I don't want it overly sticky. I did a couple, I'll try and put those pictures in here, but where it actually took off my base coat. So the less sticky it is, it's okay. It needs to have some stickiness to it, but not to lift off your base coats. Now, there are one of two ways to do this. I'm going to start with the easiest way. I will try and get you another video of the other way I do it to save vinyl. And this vinyl was actually from the dollar store. I wanted something cheap that's not real sticky. And I've got a bunch of it that I bought a while back. So that's what this wood grain vinyl is. Stick it in. Now this image I did design myself. I know there are places you can get cuts for your tumblers. If I find them, I will link them below. Alright, now I'm going to take my turner here and try and very carefully lay this on. Hopefully when we get to the other side, our lines will all match up. I feel a bubble. So it looks like I'm very, very close. The bottom matches, the top is just a hair off. So I think that's gonna work for us. Now I'm gonna take my transfer tape off. Normally I use my transfer tape for another project. However, since my backing all ripped apart, we'll see once how this works. Now, you want to take off every other row. It does not matter which one, but because I have a little bit showing up here, I'm going to take off this top row. And you want things to match. This matches up pretty perfect. Let's skip one. And skip one. All right, if you need to adjust these, you shouldn't have to go the whole way back around. Sometimes you can almost stretch it just a little bit to get it to where you need it to be. And push down, especially along the edge, because I don't want anything leaking under. Now, you could use a stronger one and potentially not have to seal it first, but that has never worked for me. That side's full of all sorts of bubbles. So I'm actually going to try and pull it tight so it'll lay a little bit flatter and see if I can still get it to line up. Hopefully we got it there. Maybe not. All right, now I'm going to use Extreme Protection, and my product of choice is Extreme Protection here. You can use the Bright Tone. That won't make much of a difference, but the Extreme Protection has less solids in it, which means more of it is going to evaporate out, meaning it's going to cause thinner layers. So if you're building over glitter, the Bright Tone is nice that it helps have thicker layers every time you put down a coat. However, on this, I don't want to have huge bumps in between. I might have to fix that one. I'm gonna have huge bumps in between my squares. So this one I am actually going to choose to use Extreme Protection. Now, if this leaks under a little bit, that's fine. It's clear, it'll disappear once you put your other layers on. But I'm gonna put it on, let it dry for 4 hours, and that will seal those edges in. So for this one that's still bumped up, and there's one there, I'm gonna go grab my X-Acto knife. All right, so now, because the spray will leak under there, I'm gonna just lightly cut through, trying not to cut through my base coat, but that will give me edges I can push together. Do it this way. If you have a sharp knife and are worried about getting it under there, so if there are spots that you're really worried about, even like these that you fixed, you can go over again in 4 hours with another coat of Extreme Protection. So I am going to, because there's not really anything there, put just a tiny drop on my finger. Try and seal that in. I'm going to do that for any other spots on this cup. And then I'm going to let it set for 4 hours or longer, and we can go to the airbrush. All right, so now I am going to airbrush my 3 lines here. I am using the Bombay ink, let's see, turquoise. If you don't have these, I do recommend the bigger bottles because they have the dropper in them. But I have little pipettes I got on Amazon. So you want to shake it up because the colors sink to the bottom. Now, Bombay inks are the right consistency for the airbrush. They are thin enough to just use straight out of the bottle. All right, so I'm gonna start. I close my gun all the way so that nothing sprays out. Now, I know how many turns I need bit more. But you want it coming out pretty well, where you don't have to do tons and tons of back and forth lines. That takes a lot more to hide it, a lot more layers. So, see there, like these dark spots, I would have lifted up my finger. But you can hide those dark sides under or over the vinyl. So that is a good setting. Now I have this hand turner. It is a turner setup, it just doesn't have the motor on it. So I can turn it at my speed. All right, and this one has to be washed off. Can you see it here? Let me bring it up to you. It's a fingerprint. I forgot about that. You want to make sure that you are holding it with like a coffee filter or something, because fingerprints show up. All right, so here I have my stripes cut out the opposite way. I'm gonna do the same thing. Lining it up. These ones will be a little bit easier because if the two edges don't meet perfect, it's okay, because it's not going in a circle around the cup. Alright, and then we're just going to pull every other one. So if I leave this one didn't cut in the middle, that might be a problem. Alright, I thought it had cut all the lines. So now, because we're not trying to wrap them, you can get rid of all these bubbles. You don't need to come back through with that X-Acto knife and cut out the bubbles like the other one. Just flatten it all. However, this one I am going to need my X-Acto knife to cut it in half. Apparently I missed a spot. And now, to get this as perfect as possible, because I want all my stripes being the same distance coming down, I'm going to use my sewing tape measure. I'm going to figure out where the halfway mark is. And mark it. Making sure I'm doing it on the inside so I don't get it on my cup. But these sewing tape measures are great because you can wrap them around your cup and it'll show you, you can see how big you want your decal. Alright. Then I like metal rulers for this. I'm going to line it up here as best I can. Just follow my ruler. think I got it. Slowly going to pull in case I missed a spot. There we go. Push the edges down. Now, all my stripes go a little bit sideways, but they all go the same amount sideways. This was one of the first ones I designed and clearly didn't do it perfectly. So until I redesign this, they at least all match. So I'm actually going to let this hang dry for my extreme protection. And it can be really, really thin layers, because the thicker the layers, the more you're gonna have to sand to get it thin at the end. But you just want those edges covered up, so the next time we go in with Bombay ink, it's not going to seal under. I might need my X-Acto knife there with the brand to make sure it doesn't bubble up over that. Then I'm going to give it at least 4 hours and we can go back with the airbrush. Maybe I just got the wrong one. Alright, now you're not trying to get this to match this, because this section should be lighter. And see how that kind of looks. Remember, you can use the pen cleaner to clean up your lines a little bit. But I think we've got a pretty good plaid going. Just need a tiny little bit on your Q-tip. Then I'm gonna let this set at least 4 hours, and then I will apply my glitter. I'm going to use a hacked glitter from the glitter guy, and I will link that in the description below. And I had a little bit of overspray on the bottom, so I'm just going to take a little bit of the cleaner. Now again, you don't want too much because you don't want it running down the sides and ruining your design there. So I'm just going to keep going till I get the bottom clean.